All right, hi everyone, Bracey here. So, have you ever been to a theme park, kind of like Six Flags or even Disney, and you didn't necessarily have a lot of money, so you have to go there and wait in those long lines, especially if you didn't go early in the morning? Um, that is where I feel the state of virtual reality is. It's fun for an occasional once in a while thing. But if you don't have the money or you don't have the luxury of time, it becomes something that's kind of barring for entertainment. Like it's got kind of this barrier of entry for most people. Because not everybody just has time to kill, especially in today's age where when we're talking about time, we have a shorter and shorter attention span. Things, good or bad, we're evolving, so our attention span is getting shorter and shorter. We're taking in much more information on a regular basis. Most people watching stuff today are not just watching TV, but they're watching TV as well as using their phone. Or there's a lot of instances where you're out with people and you're probably also on your phone, or you're even when you're on your phone, if you're doing something, you're probably switching between other applications. I call these things points of interest. These are you're scanning for things that keep your mind occupied. We don't like to be bored, and the science is pretty clear on being bored is actually a good thing. But we'll step aside from that for right now and talk about points of interest, because this is another area along the journey of qpvr. So today I wanted to go in a little bit more on what the qpvr platform does and why it's so unique, what we're shaping up. And at some point, like I said, I'm going to be in a few videos from now, I'm going to start actually editing. And when I start actually editing, that means I'm going to actually start to show you a lot of the stuff that I've been working on. I'm motioning this way because relative to where I am right now, the stuff that I'm working on is in a room over there. I know that's not that important, but I thought I'd share. So points of interest. I used the theme park as a reference point because I think it's a very good illustration of how we have to stand in line, and it's different than it used to be. Back when I was growing up, there were no phones to keep us distracted. You just stood in a line for hours to get on one ride for like a few minutes, and then you would go find the next line you were willing to sit on, the next attraction that you were willing. And most people don't do this very often. Like most people, this is a once in a while thing, because like the real activity is just standing in line. Like that's you're standing in line more than you're actually like enjoying an exciting experience. And I equate that to virtual reality because a lot of the heavy lifting isn't just the equipment. Mentally, we're heavily lifting the fact that we are cut off from all other distractions and we're sitting in loading screens. We're disconnected from other people. We just have a lot of time to ourselves. And for somebody who likes time to themselves and likes to think, that's not a bad thing. But that's a barrier for entry for most people, especially in a day and age where people have evolved to have a very low attention span and they are expecting more information being hurled at them, right? So qpvr, quantum portation, the whole thing that we're doing is basically getting rid of all loading screens. There is no loading screen. You go into an experience, and if you're not interested in staying in that experience, you can just jump right to the next experience, and it's already ready to go. And the way this is going to work is actually kind of simple technology. We're going to reduce the capabilities of an experience to the point that we can also run other experiences parallel, in the same space. Like, so we know I think it's the physical property of just our existence is, two things can exist in the same place at the same time, but in virtual reality, that's no longer the case. And so instead of having one program running while you're inside of it and then not loading the next program until you jump to it, we are making it so two programs are running, overlapping the space that you're occupying, and you only see one of them, but when you're ready to jump to the next one, it's just revealing the next world, and then while you're in that other world, it's already loading up the next experience, the next world that you can jump to. So for you, for the audience, for the user, for the players, for the experiencers, I like to call them experiencers because that's what we are. But there needs to be a shorter, better, catchier, poppier name than experiencer. I don't like user. I don't like player. I don't like viewer. All of these things kind of code what that person is expected to be in the situation. And I think experiencer, they're not just exploring, discoverers. I don't know. We got to find a good term. But anyway, for the person inside, and maybe person is just the freaking term that we use. For the person inside the experience, they're just jumping from world to world to world, experience to experience to experience with their own agency. And some of those experiences will require interaction, some of them won't. Some of them will require movement, some of them won't. Some of them will just be very passive. Some of them will just be art on the wall, just music, surrounded by music. Whatever the experience is, the idea is you won't have to be there very long. In fact, it's up to you how long you are. And I think that goes for most experiences in real world, unless there's social limitations. You can just, if you want to go to your backyard, you can go to your backyard. If you want to go to your house, you can go to your house. You want to go down the street, you can go down the street. You want to go to the movies, you want to go. There is the journey to those places, but the journey for you is also an experience, or used to be before we had phones. Anyway, this is, again, setting more of the context as to what qpvr is. As a platform, it's a content platform that allows people to go from one experience to another with friends or by themselves, and it's at the heart of just discovering content. And for creators, it's giving them a context in which to make anything they want, put anything that they made, anything that is a digital medium, and put it in a place that people will discover it. B, it'll also allow to create the entire context in which somebody engages with the creation, and C, it allows them to be in a place that they will just be discovered, and they can be part of an ecosystem of discovering things being discovered, and not just put in a content platform that's marketed in a very specific way and maybe lost or maybe found, but like there will always be people discovering, running through worlds, because we're gonna, well, I'll talk about that another post. But this is, yeah, I believe this was daily vlog number 5. If you're watching, thank you for taking the time. I'm Bracey, and I'll see you in the next one.